Jurassic World Rebirth promised to mark a noticeable shift in tone for the franchise, and honestly, it was a shift I was welcoming. After the over-the-top spectacle of Dominion, it was refreshing to see dinosaurs becoming more rare and elusive again, due to dinosaurs not being able to survive in the modern climate. They are now confined mainly to a remote set of islands near the equator, so in this movie we head back to more of that classic Jurassic jungle vibe. This almost re-extinction of dinosaurs did however feel a little sudden, considering how the last film left things. As in Dominion, which was set only 5 years prior, there were dinosaurs everywhere, but for the sake of this atmosphere and tension, I didn't mind the reset. The opening act was going great, and it was cool seeing the background work of the Jurassic World facilities and testing. There was also a scary introduction to the D-Rex. However, the plot involving a Snickers wrapper triggering the facility-wide disaster borders on ridiculous. It's the kind of thing that pulls you out of the story for a moment, especially in a film trying to ground itself in a darker, more serious tone. But if it wasn't for that, I think it would have been quite a good opening and introduction to the D-Rex. After the opening act, we're then in for a slow 30 minutes of introducing the characters and the mission, etc., which might put off some viewers with how slow it was. But once the characters set up on their mission and the dinosaurs come into play, the pace ramps up nicely and the film really finds its footing. This pace may even be a little bit too fast and almost felt like a Jurassic Park 3 script at times. I think one of the biggest missed opportunities was the island itself. It was the perfect chance to expand the franchise's lore. Was this Site C? Does it connect to the fight test? But the film never quite dives into those details. I found myself wanting more background and history on this new setting. Yet nothing was found, nothing was explored, and personally I would have enjoyed some cool new uncovered secrets. Instead, we were just led on the mission to get the DNA, which brings me on to our next point. While the story explains the need for the DNA samples from the largest dinosaur species due to the size of their hearts and cardiac muscles, etc., it fails to provide a reason why these needed to be one land, one sea, and one aerial species. Surely they could just be from 3 separate land species or whatever was easiest. Visually, Rebirth was impressive. The environments are breathtaking and immersive. The dinosaurs were particularly spectacular, and while there were a few rough CGI moments here and there, such as with the Lystrosaurus, and personally I thought T-Rex looked great but also a bit weird at times, I do believe the action set pieces make up for it. The scene featuring the Spinosaurus and the Mosasaur was a really edge of your seat action. I also found the T-Rex rough scene pretty cool, and it was new to see the T-Rex in like a water environment, but that was pretty spectacular. And there was the unique Quetzalcoatlus attacking the protagonist on the cliff edge, which also was pretty cool. And I think, on a whole, most of the dinosaur encounters carried genuine tension, which is something the franchise has struggled with in some of the recent movies. Then there was the T-Rex, which I already talked about how it was introduced and that I did like how it was introduced. But the T-Rex was supposed to be kind of the main antagonist dinosaur of the movie, and I thought it was going to get a lot more screen time than it did. But when it was on screen, it was unsettling, imposing, and I thought the scene where it comes out of the fog with the crushed helicopter in its jaws was really awesome. However, I wanted to know more about the D-Rex. What was it a hybrid of? What went wrong with it? And how such a mutated creature survived so long on an island? I was also expecting it to be killed off, and I'm pretty disappointed it wasn't. As I saw them get on the boat to escape, I was expecting the return of the Spinosaurus or something else to take down the D-Rex in typical like Jurassic style final showdown. Like the way we saw with the Indominus Rex and the Giganotosaurus, or the T-Rex attacking the raptors in the original Jurassic Park. Instead, the crew managed to flee away, and it felt a bit anticlimactic, kind of similar to how Jurassic Park 3 ended. I was a little disappointed with the variety of species we saw, and many of these that we did see appeared for very small cameos, such as the dead Parasaurolophus or the few seconds of Dilophosaurus, and one short scene with the raptor. One of the species that got quite a lot of screen time, or hybrid species, was the Mutodons, but they seemed to lack any real depth, and once I saw just how good the raptors looked, I was so disappointed at how criminally underused they were, and they could have taken the place of the Mutodons in at least a few of the scenes. And the singular scene that the Raptors did have was almost a complete joke and was used as a humor point for the audience, which completely ruined their image of the danger they're supposed to represent. It was almost felt like a skit from the Scary Movie series. And while the New Mutants creatures served their purpose, they felt like a full antagonist. When it comes to our main characters, Duncan in particular was a standout. He was charismatic, likable, and someone you genuinely wanted to see make it out alive. His fake death reminded me of Billy's fake death in Jurassic Park 3, where they're both actually doing it in order to save a child. Um, and it looks like they sacrifice themselves and then they end up coming out alive somehow. A lot of people have found that pretty stupid, but I don't know, I didn't hate it. We had the inclusion of the morally ambiguous pharmaceutical executive in Martin Krebs, which added a nice layer of corporate menace to the story, and he really felt like that typical Jurassic human villain. Initially, I was worried with Dr. Henry Loomis's character. I was worried he was going to be an over-the-top, exaggerated dinosaur nerd that had no real value on the ground, but he just felt like a paleontologically knowledgeable person that could also hold his own and was generally quite likable. Some character dynamics also felt a little inconsistent. Laura Bennett, for instance, is established as having PTSD from a previous mission due to the death of one of her close friends, but when close friends meet horrific ends during this one, she barely seems affected. I'm presuming that she probably wasn't as close with these characters, or that maybe the PTSD is one of the reasons she doesn't react as much. But still, it's something that is stated in the movie yet never explored, so I just found that a bit odd. Then we had the Delgado family, which were the family that were rescued after the boat was capsized by the mosasaur. I found the inclusion of this family a bit pointless. It seemed to be only in the movie for cheap humorous moments, but also to show the morals of the main cast, such as each member's decision whether to rescue them, or for example seeing Martin Krebs letting the girl fall overboard and not helping her. And it also brings up Duncan's child's death and how we now try to protect the little girl from like the D-Rex, etc. Most of the deaths that took place were pretty predictable from the moment their character appeared on the screen. Duncan's teased demise was generally one of the more surprising ones. One controversial thing that I wanted was I thought we might get the T-Rex vs Spinosaurus rematch. I don't know if it will ever happen, but I'll be ready for it whenever it does. But in this movie, they are not really anywhere near each other, so it was never really a possibility here. One frustration I have about this movie has nothing to do with the movie itself, but it's to do with the trailers, and it's how much they spoil in advance. Between the promotional material and the TV spots, nearly every major set piece and dinosaur reveal was shown before the movie even hit theaters. I think it's a shame because some of the scenes would be so much more shocking and cool if we didn't really know that it was going to happen, such as the Mosasaurus and Spinosaurus is like teaming up to attack. Now, this may have seemed like a rather negative review. I did enjoy Jurassic World Rebirth. It's not the perfect film, but it's maybe arguably a step in the right direction for the franchise, scaling things back, refocusing on an atmosphere and dinosaurs, and offering a few genuinely thrilling sequences. I personally rank it as maybe the fourth best in the series, a solid improvement over Dominion for me at least. And I think the reaction to this movie has been very diverse, so I'm interested in hearing what you think. As for my final verdict, I'd give it a solid 6.7 out of 10.